what you want, when you want it, where you want it. This is The Mesh.
AI. Absolute Ignorance. With John Reed.
That's me. But I'm not alone. As always, I'm joined by my two friends in technology, tech, and AI. The Alan Jackson, who is my age, and our whiz kid, our Gen Z, Coble Hartman. How are you, bud?
Fantastic. How are you?
I'm good. Last episode, we talked about Cable Guy.
Yeah, we talked about Cable. We talked about a lot of movies. We talked
Yeah.
about Matthew Broderick for about 40 minutes.
Yeah, we did. There's a little too much Matthew Broderick talk, but we learned a lot.
We did. He killed 2 people in Ireland.
That was crazy.
As Alan lovingly pointed out.
But I told you I was going to reach out to Larry the Cable
Yes.
Guy.
Did
And
you?
I did, and he responded to me. I said, random question. The Jim Carrey movie, Cable Guy, did they ever contact you about it?
Yeah.
I know you were doing the character way before the movie came out. We talked about it on a podcast recently. He goes, no, they never did. It pissed me off originally because I thought they were going to rip me off. But then when it came out, it really wasn't close to anything I did. Plus, it kind of sucked. LOL.
So he didn't have much to say about it.
No. Well, then I said, ha, ha, ha. Right. Was asking because in the movie, Jim's character has many different aliases.
Yeah.
And at one point he said his name was Larry, which would make him Larry the Cable Guy.
Yeah.
And then he responded. He goes, I forgot about that part. I'm suing and calling my lawyer and asking about the statute of limitations.
It's been, what, 40 years?
He said, this was a dead issue, Reap, until you dug it. Until you dug up ghosts of the past. Ghosts, by the way, I never cared about until you just conjured them up. I said, ha, ha, ha. I care about my friends and don't want anyone taking advantage of them. Also, if you win, can I have 5%? He said, LOL, of course. You started it. And then I sent him the clip where he says his name is Larry Tate,
Yeah.
right? Because Larry the Cable Guy doesn't have a last name.
Right.
You only know him as Larry the Cable Guy. I'm talking about Dan Whitney's character.
Yeah, the character he created, yeah.
Is Larry the Cable Guy.
Right.
So his last name theoretically could be Tate. Okay. So I sent him the clip where Jim Carrey said his name is Larry.
Yeah.
And he goes, that movie honestly sucked. It didn't, forgive me, get her done. He said the movie didn't get her done.
I see what he did there.
I said, ha, 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 agreed, and no, it did not. And then he said, LOL. So there's your recap from last week. Now we know that Larry the Cable Guy was before the movie Cable Guy.
We got to get a hold of Jim Carrey.
So theoretically, he might have some sort of lawsuit, grievance. I don't know. I mean, it's been forever.
I agree. I think our next step is to get Jim Carrey in here to refute
Right.
or to give the counter argument. Because, I mean, we're just hearing one-sided side of things now.
But they didn't reach out to him at all.
Yeah.
That part does bug me a little bit.
That doesn't surprise me.
No, it
doesn't surprise me at all. But it bugs me a tiny bit because
What would they would have said though if they reached out? Like what would they would have said? Can we use Larry? Can we say his alias is Larry?
are you going to sue us if we make this movie?
Was he popular enough for someone to worry?
That's a
about?
good question. Now he was coming up. You're right. I don't think he was as big as he is now.
He wasn't on the
then.
radar.
He was on a radar, but not
the
the big one.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was like not even a blimp.
Yeah.
But all right, so
Thanks
that was
for
last
reaching
week. I'd like to also we talked about sunglasses at the end of the last week's episode. I wear my sunglasses at night.
Did we talk? Oh, we did. Yeah. Yep, we did talk.
And
about
I
that.
forgot about that as
Yeah.
well.
My future's so bright I got to wear shades.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm happy to say that my house has sunglasses.
Explain.
I have a gigantic window over my front door, and it's not tinted. It wasn't when I bought it.
So you got it tinted.
I got it tinted, yeah. And so now it blocks 83% of the UV rays coming into the house. It's going to lower the temperature Now, just in time for fall and winter.
Yeah.
So you
But there'll be another summer it comes around.
you couldn't splurge and get it to 84%. Just not going to do it.
No,
No,
it's
too
as
much.
high as you can get without it blocking out, just painting it.
So that's your front window, like right there, your front door.
You know what I'm talking about? That
Oh, yeah,
gigantic
sure.
front window over the door?
It's like a big arch. or
Yeah.
is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
That one and the little windows around it
Nice.
have been complete.
So now no one can peep
So
on you.
its future is bright, and it's wearing shades,
Yeah.
and it wears them at night as well.
Nice. Fantastic.
Thought that'd be fun.
You did this after the podcast?
I did it since the last podcast.
You got inspired by the podcast.
Oh yeah, that's what did it.
Yeah.
I didn't do it, by the way. I don't do things. I pay for them. I'm not a
D.
DIY guy. I'm
Trust
a
me,
YDI guy. You do it.
And you also got a new iPhone.
I did. We talked about that last week.
Yep.
Here it is, buddy. Look, feast your eyes.
I'm
upon
jealous.
it.
I'm honestly super jealous.
This is as close as I'm gonna let you get to it.
Just you wait.
I am very pleased with it so far.
Yeah. Twitter's faster.
Let me tell you what I love about it.
Okay.
It was so easy to transfer all my old data from the data from my old phone to the new phone.
Everyone always says that. Yeah.
Well, this is the first time it's done it like this, as far as I know.
Oh, okay.
Now, I haven't gotten a phone since the 11, so I don't know how long this technology has been around. But all I had to do was set it next to my old phone.
And it just.
Yeah, it took 3 hours because I have a lot of stuff on there.
Yeah.
But not only did it transfer everything, but it put it in the exact order
Yep.
in the folders that I had created with different, apps in them,
my favorite
labeled.
Yeah.
So
So when you
It was
turned on your
seamless.
new phone, it looked like your old phone.
exactly.
Yep.
It's
That's
cool.
one of my favorite. That's what I talked about this first or second episode. I said the Apple ecosystem is one of the best tech ecosystems created. It's incredible.
Then I had to go buy a bunch of new cords,
Oh, because you're USB-C now?
USB-C.
Oh,
so look at this. This from my laptop now goes straight into my phone. Bing, bang, boom.
I'm so happy they made the switch. Of course, now I have to wait 4 or 5 years for it to matter to me because I'm not going to buy a 15 just to have USB-C. It's going to be a while until it's just a standard on all iPhones, I think.
So are you up to date with all the new stuff that this new iPhone can do?
I think so. So you got an action button now instead of a switch on the left.
Right. That's So you hold it down. So far, I know this. It's silent and not silent.
Yeah, but you can set it to almost anything.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can program it to do
Yeah.
other things.
You can also, this is my favorite thing, you can program it to do a shortcut. So I always tell myself if I ever get one, I'll program it to I have a digital lock on my front door. I would program it to unlock my door. So as I approach the door, I just hold down the button on the phone and my door unlocks.
I like that.
That'd be the thing I do.
You can also have it activate your camera. Like if you don't want to have to deal with going to your screen and opening up the camera that way, you can actually tell it in your settings, hey, I want that button. When I press the button, go ahead and go into camera mode and take a picture.
So
Or
I guess
voice memo.
they made the default action on it what it was kind of before,
Yeah.
which was
Correct.
turning the sound off and
Sounds.
on. Yeah.
Yep.
Or voice memo. You can hit it and start recording immediately a voice memo in case you
So
have an idea.
let me ask you this: if I program this action button to start recording a video, it'll do that, or it'll just open the camera? Then I have to hit the start.
I
button?
think it just opens the camera.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, me and Alan don't have them
Yeah,
yet,
we don't
so-
have one, so I don't know.
I'll tell you guys next episode.
Yeah, please. So you got that. It's made of titanium, right? Or is yours made of aluminum?
It's titanium.
Okay.
According, I didn't do any tests, but
right.
I just take their word that it's.
Coble, I'm sure that John got the
Full titanium.
iPhone
Yeah.
15 Pro.
Vibranium,
Vibranium. Whoa, what's that from?
It's a Marvel. It's the strongest metal in the MCU.
Right.
That's what Captain America's shield's made out of, vibranium.
Yeah, this is vibranium.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, there's some magnet that everyone's talking about that's in here. That's all the rage.
MagSafe.
That's
Talking about that?
Max Safe.
The MagSafe, MAGSAF.
Mag Safe.
Yeah, I have it on mine as well. You didn't
What
have it on
is-
your. Oh yeah, he wouldn't have had it. On
He
his
didn't
11.
have it on the 11.
So I have it on mine too. So that's why this is so you can see it's so. This is an audio podcast, but my case is super messed up. So because I'm always charging it wirelessly on the back.
Oh, okay.
So I have a wireless charger. I just set my phone down on it. Even in my car, I have a magnetic dock.
Yeah.
and I put my phone on it, and it charges it while it sits there. It's
Let
really
me ask
cool.
you about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I like to hook my phone up when I'm driving to where I can do things on it without having to pull it up, look at it. You
can see maps, or
especially if I'm going to maps. If I'm going to be driving long distances in my car for 2 or 3 or 4 hours, I'd like to do that. Now, the problems I've had with the magnets in the past.
Okay.
Anytime I hit a bump in the road, it would fall off.
Well, now
this magnet more powerful?
It is very powerful. Okay. Yeah, my parents both have one that like you have to try really hard to actually take it off.
Oh,
like it's that good. So yeah, now that you have the MagSafe, now you have to get a MagSafe case though. If you want to go through the case, you have a MagSafe case.
I believe I do because it had an outline. They love to show you the little outline.
The circle.
The circle. Yeah.
Okay, great. So now you can wirelessly charge it. You can just set it down on a charger or wireless charge, and you can if you put it on a MagSafe compatible mount in your car, it'll be really strong.
All right, I like that. Yeah, I might get one of those.
MagSafe compatible, though. Look at
MagSafe compatible. I also spent a lot of money with different cords and blocks. Now, here's one thing I like it when I stump tech people with a question that they've not gotten.
Is it? Let me ask: is it that you're stumping them, or you don't know enough to ask the question coherently?
That question insults me.
Okay, so what did you ask?
Let's see. You can tell.
Okay,
me.
I'll tell you.
So now I have a lot of blocks that have just a USB.
USB Type A, like the old one?
Okay, let's see here. Type A, like the old one, yes.
Yeah, there's a square.
So now this is Type C, correct?
Yeah, and that's like an oval.
So I was asking him, instead of having to buy new blocks, could I buy a Type A to C adapter that would go into the existing block?
That's a good question.
Boom!
That was not a weird question. Congratulations.
I was happy that I stumped him with the question. He's like, no one's ever asked me that.
You got Coble stumped, and that's a good job.
Thank you.
I have an answer for you, but just whenever you want to come over to.
Well, hang on.
How did I get stumped? Wait a minute.
Yeah, because now Alan might be it might go like in a circle here.
Wait, what did I do?
Because I said, I don't want to have to throw away blocks.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to have to get new cords.
Yeah. I have a Type A to USB-C adapter at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
so
Alan,
you can do what you just described, a cable that goes from the USB-C that's now on your phone to the USB-A that is on your blocks.
Yeah. But it won't charge as fast.
It will not charge as fast.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
It just won't charge as fast because it's not putting out as much power. But you can do it. You can still do it.
That's one of the benefits of USB Type-Cs. It's like, what is that? It's like twice or 3 times as fast USB Type-A. It's crazy. That's why I'm jealous.
Yeah. But for charging, if you're going to leave it charging like overnight or whatever, it doesn't matter how quickly it charges.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
So far, the battery life on this is amazing.
Yeah, until the next one comes out, and then it'll drop.
Right. Is that something they program, or is that just a myth? Because I asked that dude that question.
It's been very, tested.
I know people talk about it.
I think it's definitely a thing. Because I noticed it. So I bought, I didn't buy this, but I got it brand new. It was a gift. It was brand new. I got it a couple weeks after it came out. This is the 13. The second the 14 came out, I noticed the battery, it did not last as long.
No, how do you think if they do that, how do they do that?
That's just a program. That's just an update.
Yes.
I see. So anytime
whenever they push out updates to the system, and they normally put out new versions of the system when new phones are coming out. Yeah. So if you go and update your older phone, it's putting more features and more updates into your phone, but that's also going to possibly drain your battery quicker on older phones.
Right. Do you think it's a devious thing on their part where they go and we're going to make your battery life lower?
Well, it makes you want to buy a new phone. It
of
makes
course.
So I think it's a strategy, I think.
Yeah. That's a little devious.
A little bit. There's a woman who...
It's very devious.
Yeah. There's a woman who quit Apple, and the lawsuit might be over now, but she got sued by them. Because she came out with a brick that she said supposedly would bypass that software. There was a chip in the brick, and it would bypass that software and make your battery charge to full. So what Apple essentially does with their software, if this is true, is they say, okay, we're only going to let it charge to 70%, but it'll say 100.
Oh, right.
Okay, so this brick supposedly bypasses that and will charge it to its full 100%.
An actual 100.
Yeah. I haven't bought it yet, but it seems pretty promising. But you haven't heard, no one has heard about it because it got hidden away immediately.
They squashed it.
Yeah. But I think you can buy one.
Yeah, it's almost not worth the hassle. It's like, well, might as well just update and all the new stuff. New stuff is fun to get.
Might as well
anyway.
spend $1,000 on.
Yeah, well, that's a point too. I did spend a lot of money on new cords and blocks because I am the kind of person that likes to have the cords around me and with me at all times at all places.
Yes.
So I have one for the car. I have one for next to my bed. I've got one for the office. I've got ones to carry in my backpack when I'm on the road that are different from the ones in the office. Yeah. So I don't have to take them places. They stay there.
Yeah.
I consider myself very good at portable things. I have this, which, again, people at home can't see. But it's a little block that has a MagSafe pattern on the back. And you just slap it on your phone, and it sticks to the back of your phone, and now it's charging my phone.
Oh, that's like how much will that give it a full charge?
Yeah, full charge.
Okay.
From 0 to 100.
How long will it keep a full charge? That battery pack that you have there, how long will that?
Just one full iPhone charge, and then.
But like if you charge it and just forget about it, how long will it stay in there?
Oh,
a week, a month, a year?
I'd say its standby is probably about a couple months.
Couple months.
Yeah,
that's
before
good.
It's fully discharged.
Yeah,
yeah.
I like it. I'm digging it. So now, what was the offer on the table
for yours?
Yeah. So I forgot how you were trying to trick me.
Yeah. So here's what I was telling you. There's actually a clip of this. I took it out. I said, you come in here with your phone.
Got it.
I give you my phone.
All right. Now, after we exchange phones,
yeah,
what else do I get?
You get a nice firm handshake.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like this.
Nice and firm.
You're still in the whole $400.
But can you put a price on friendship?
Like $400. No. Okay, you're trying to trick me. No,
That's right.
I'm gonna hang on to this for a while.
Yeah,
for now.
no, I understand.
You come up with a different offer, we'll renegotiate.
Okay, I'll come back next week with a different offer.
Did you turn in your old phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
So then you also got
part of the deal.
You got the new 5x zoom as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I do. I'm digging that.
Yeah.
And it goes. I feel like it zooms out more, not just in.
So 0.5 does it go past 0.5?
Let me take a photo of you right now. So we've got 1.5, 1, 2, and 3. Yeah.
He can do 3 on his.
Who can?
You can do 3-time optical zoom on your camera. If you had the Pro Max, which is the huge one, it would go 5.
Yeah. Oh, so you can only
5.
Yeah.
Okay.
5 times.
Yeah. You can do 3 times zoom on the phone you've got, John. If you had gotten the big extra large one, that goes further zoom.
Yeah.
Now I think you also have action mode, which is actually, Alan, I found out on the 14 as well, because it's just a software thing. Action mode. Have you heard about action mode, John?
Maybe.
It's super cool. So pretty much it artificially stabilizes a video. Mm-hmm. So you turn it on when you go to take a video, and it can be pretty much as shaky as you want as long as your subject is like in the middle.
Yeah.
And it'll just stabilize it, and it doesn't even look like you were shaking a single bit.
Yeah, I only know that because the commercial that they have for action mode on that iPhone upset me.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What was
That's how I remember that exists. Is because there is a commercial where there's a mom who wants to record her son in some sporting event. I forgot what it was. Like he's trying to run. Maybe it's a football game or a basketball game. I forgot what it is. But she's on the sideline, and he's at one end of the court or field or pitch, depending on the sport. I forgot. And she's going to follow him all the way down as he's running, and she's running with him.
Yeah.
But because, it's shaky. That's where the action mode comes in. But what I don't like about it is she's running over people who are standing on the sideline who are behaving themselves. And she is mowing down other innocent bystanders just to record her 11-year-old son kick a ball or whatever. And I'm like, screw this lady.
So use your 5-time zoom and just sit down like the rest of us.
Yeah.
Right. All right.
I don't know. That's how I remember it.
It's understandable. Okay.
You like to play quizzes and trivia, don't you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Name this North Carolina legend.
Oh, God.
You're from North Carolina, right?
I'm barely from North Carolina.
You're wearing a North Carolina hat.
I'm wearing a Tar Heels hat.
Seems like you might know things from North Carolina.
I'll try my best. I'm also 18 years old. So
speaking of 18, this guy was born in 1892.
So just my type of guy.
Yep. So
Born
much
in-
in common.
Yeah, all
In
right.
18, so I'm going to ask you this question. And at the end of it, I want you to try and figure out why I asked you this question.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. Born in 1892 on a small farm in Boomer Township, North Carolina. It's in Wilkes County.
Okay.
From an early age, he worked on the family farm. He attended school at a small one-room schoolhouse from the time he was 6 years old until he was 18. He was a tallyman in his family's lumber business. He left home to pursue a high school diploma at Appalachian Training School in Boone, which is now known as Appalachian State University.
Yeah.
He served in World War I in the Army Corps of Engineers in Washington, D.C. Who is this man from North Carolina?
So he didn't like do anything. He just was a person. And
Well, what
like,
he's mostly known for, I didn't put in there because it would give it away, I think.
so you're just asking me to guess the name of a person who just
Did all those other things,
just
yes,
did normal
that I gave you. Normal
people
things? Tally man?
This
You
guy.
know, honestly, do you know what a tally man is and what it
No,
does?
I don't know what a tally man is.
Okay, thank you for your honesty. I don't either.
Okay, thank you for your honesty.
But I know that you have to ask it to come. Come, Mr. Tallyman. Tally me a banana.
Yeah, there's definitely
Right?
bananas involved.
If you want a banana,
with the tally man.
if you want a banana, you got to go through the Tallyman.
Yeah, call the tally man.
He's the guy.
I don't know how people get bananas other than Tallyman.
Oh my god.
So, Alan, do you know what? This would be a good question for our co-host.
Which co-host would you like to use?
Oh, can you update us on the co-host?
Yes, let me give a quick co-host update. So we still have Beverly, who we have used for the last several weeks and has been improving her performance. She did slightly get better. I tested her out a little bit more before the recording. She has gotten a little better with her answers.
All right.
Or we can go directly to ChatGPT, which we can now talk to.
Okay.
That is good for information sharing. Just
Well, why
not
don't
going
we-
to be a lot of personality there, though.
Just because we're talking about our love for new things,
Yeah.
and it's new, and the listeners haven't heard this yet. Let's try the new
Let's
person.
try. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to cue you up here. Here's your new guy.
Hey there, can you tell me what a tallyman is?
Certainly. A tallyman historically referred to someone who kept a record or tally, often in the context of tracking items or amounts. In some contexts, a tallyman was responsible for collecting payments or debts, while in others, they might have kept track of goods loaded onto ships or counted votes in elections.
Okay,
The
thank
method of recording was often by making notches on a tally stick. Over time, the specific duties and context of a tallyman have varied depending on the region and era.
Okay, does a tallyman have anything to do with bananas?
Yes. The term tallyman also has a connection with the banana trade. The song Day-O, the banana boat song made famous by Harry Belafonte, features the lyrics, "Come, Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana." In this context, the tallyman was responsible for counting the bunches of bananas that workers loaded onto ships.
Oh.
This song is a traditional Jamaican folk song that describes the hard work of dock workers loading bananas onto boats for export,
It's hard work.
working from daybreak until night. So in this case, the tallyman is associated with the banana trade.
Gotcha. Thank you very much. All right. So, Coble, you have your answer with tallyman. It is no more than a guy who tallies things.
Yeah, so he
Like an accountant.
He counts bananas.
I'm going to start
Great.
calling my accountant tallyman.
Call him up. Hey,
He goes,
tallyman.
I'm a certified public accountant. You're a tallyman.
You're a tallyman.
Tally man.
Go get me some bananas.
So based off of that, you expect me. So here's the
No, I don't
informa-
expect. I'm just having fun.
So the guy, here's the guy I'm working with. He counts bananas. He went to school. He worked on a farm.
World War I,
World War I. Well, you said it was
Army Corps of Engineers.
He was born in the late 1800s.
Yeah.
Everyone
Boomer
was,
Township.
everyone was in World War I.
That's true.
Everyone was in World
Everyone.
War
That
I.
was everyone.
Everyone born in 1892 was
They ended up there.
Yeah.
Okay, let's be honest. I don't know who it is.
I'm going to tell you who it is.
Yeah, I'm ready.
J.E. Broyhill.
That was my first guess, actually.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
You had zero guess. You
Well,
did not guess.
See, I'm a shy little guy. I didn't want to say it just in case.
Now, why am I asking you that question?
Why are you? Is it National Day for him?
J.E. Broyhill?
Yeah.
Why am I asking you about J.E. Broyhill? Do you know that there's a place in Lenore that is also a civic center?
Oh, yeah. I've heard this before.
Yeah.
Are you about to go there?
Why, yes, I am, Coble.
Whoa.
My next tour date will be not far from here in Lenore, North Carolina, at the J.E. Broyhill Center. That is October the 21st at 7:30 p.m. Hope to see you there.
This was not planned. This was...
Now, see, that was a fun little road we took.
It was.
For me to plug a tour date.
Yeah, longest tour date plug.
15 minutes of my
Well,
life.
we had fun with the whole Tallyman talk, didn't we?
Yeah, Tallyman was fun.
That's gonna have to be in your set.
Yeah, I have to work that in there somehow. Well, what else is new, guys? I could give you some other subjects, or you could throw something at me.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't want to do all the time.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
have something
Coble,
to
what
talk
you got?
about.
I have something. Well, it's a little. Like last week, I gave a little story. I was at the beach. I have a tiny little story today.
Oh boy,
I took an MSF course last weekend.
the MSF. Hang on, I took a MSF. That's multiple sclerosis from Florida.
That's super close. Motorcycle safety something. I can't remember what the F stands for.
Facilities. No, forum. Formalities.
Motorcycle Safety Foundation.
Fundamentals.
Foundation.
Oh, foundation.
So close.
Yeah. So the MSF. By the way, can I just say this?
Say something.
I don't like it when people do abbreviations for things that aren't totally famous. Now, if you said NASA, I know that's that's NASA, the National.
Do you know what it stands for?
You got me. I just show my own point.
So what are you talking about? It doesn't stand for anything.
But I know what that is. I know it's astronauts.
Right.
That go to space and the moon.
Oh my god.
But when people start throwing out like, I went to the NATAPA for the NFL, to the, and they start doing that,
Yeah.
they're assuming I know too much.
Right.
And I'm like, I have to stop the conversation. I go, well, what is that? Yeah. So just know that. I had a guy put in windows at my blinds in my new house.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Sunglasses.
well, these didn't. And he was doing that a lot. And at some point, I just had to stop him and be like, I don't know what that means. You have to just tell me, what does that stand
Just
for?
install the windows.
Go,
dude.
it's just a safety.
I wasn't supposed to talk to you.
But yeah, I'm sorry. I cut you off.
No, that's okay.
Tell me more about the National Motorcycle Foundation.
Incorrect. But
MSF.
we'll continue.
Well, that's close, wasn't it?
Motorcycle
M.
Safety Foundation.
Correct. That's right.
Motorcycle
Yeah.
Safety Foundation.
There you go.
MSF.
You
Yeah.
passed your MSF?
I did. I actually passed 100% on my skill test and 100% on my knowledge test, which they said I'm like the third person to have done in a while.
Oh, really?
That was pretty cool. Yeah. So I took it. Everything was great. Didn't learn too much, obviously. I'd been writing for a while, so I didn't learn too much. But I got it. Now I can get my full license. So anyway, I say all this to say I drove here on my motorcycle today, and I got pulled over.
Oh, you're a rebel. Busted.
I know. I wasn't speeding or anything. Yeah, okay. And he pulls me over, and he goes, do you know why I'm pulling you over? And I was like, no, actually, I have no idea. And he says, your exhaust is too loud.
Oh, no, you're not one of those guys.
You're
are you?
one of
I
those.
was like, wow.
Dang, come on, Cole.
Here's the thing. I bought my motorcycle used with an aftermarket exhaust. It is not my fault that the exhaust is too loud.
I've never actually heard your motorcycle. I've only seen it.
Yeah. Well, I did actually put a dB killer, which is just like something.
DB,
that goes,
hang on.
Yeah.
Decibels?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know that one.
That goes in the exhaust and makes it quieter. Mm-hmm. I put one in it, and I guess at some point I revved the throttle too hard, and if you put too much pressure in it, it just goes flying out of the exhaust. So it's gone. I don't know.
What goes flying out?
The DB killer.
The actual device flies out of it.
Yeah, if you roll the throttle too hard. So it goes flying out at some point, and I lose it. And so my exhaust was too loud on the way here. And so
you did have one before you got pulled over.
Yeah.
And then you rode away and it flew out.
Yeah.
And then you got pulled over.
Yeah.
Did you explain this to the officer?
Yeah, he gave me a warning.
Okay,
I said I just bought this like a month and a half ago, maybe. Well, no, more than that. But anyway, yeah. So I just thought that was ironic that I just took the MSF course.
That is, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, was he nice? Was he nice?
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah, he was understandable.
That's good.
Yeah.
So you weren't speeding.
No, I was. I was in here in Hickory, so I was going like 38 on the.
Now, what are your thoughts on loud motorcycles in general before you were a motorcycle owner?
Oh, it's the same. It's the same now. Actually, I don't like loud motorcycles.
I don't either.
I wear earplugs, and I hate them. I don't.
To me, I have no ill will for people who love motorcycles.
Yeah, they're great.
I think it's kind of cool and fun. But if you're doing it just to be a loud, obnoxious a-hole,
Yeah.
A stands for ass.
Oh,
Then I don't like you.
Yeah.
And it's
like
rude.
I can hear Harley riders coming from like 10 miles away.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, come on, guys.
I'm wondering if those same dudes, if I were to give them a brand new motorcycle that looked exactly like the one they're on now, but it was electric and it made no noise.
Oh my God, they would run it off a bridge, John.
But look, it looks just the same, dude. And now everyone can sleep.
Well, here's the thing. Loud motorcycles do not come from the manufacturer. Like my motorcycle.
Oh, they do that on purpose.
Yeah, they put on after like my friend's motorcycle is stock exhaust, so it's from the manufacturer, and it's almost completely silent. But it's gas. It's like it's a manual transmission.
So they're going out of their way to be assholes.
Yes, they want their motorcycle to be louder.
I don't like those kind of guys.
Me neither. Yeah. So anyway, just thought that was an ironic story.
Yeah, Alan, what are your thoughts?
I think my thoughts are PMYMHMMFSWGAD.
Is that is that the part of me? But you must have mistaken me for someone who gives a damn.
That's correct.
Oh gosh, you guys, SHCOON.
Oh, you.
That's true.
That shot hot coffee out of my nose.
Oh, jeez.
So supposedly these, I just pulled up. These are actual Twitter acronyms.
Oh yeah.
Twitter shorthand that the FBI has compiled
a
giant list of to make sure all other agents understand and know what these mean. I've never seen any of these in the wild. Coble, have you?
Here's the thing. I've gotten so used to these that I can guess most of these without having to read what they stand for, and I'm correct.
Okay, so here's my question. If we're talking about acronyms that we don't understand, which, John, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I hate it when somebody throws out an acronym assuming we know.
Especially if it's a lot of them in one sentence.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, dude.
Well, when I'm on Twitter or somewhere else and I see an acronym, I'm the guy who has to go and like search to see what does that acronym mean.
I do that.
Okay.
And sometimes I'll even let the person know. So if someone leaves a comment on a post that I did, and there's and then one of those little acronyms is in there, what I'll do is go, "Oh, that sounds ha 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 ha, good one. Now let me go look up what QWERTYUIOP stands for."
Yeah. Right.
And then I'll go away and I'll leave it there for about a day.
Yeah.
And then I'll come back. Oh, I get it.
I did my research. I found out what this meant, and now I'm ready to regain the conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
This is crazy to me, though. I understand like acronyms, but a lot of these are just shorthand that make no sense.
So I was going to ask you, Coble, about
that
this
one.
one.
I've never seen that. So that's what John just said. QW whatever.
Yeah,
and it just means bored.
Well, this is. Hold on. Let's back up and explain to everybody.
I think I get it.
This is an audio podcast, so I got to make sure everybody sees it.
Go ahead.
The acronym in question that the FBI has on their list. One of them is QWERTYUIOP, which doesn't spell anything, doesn't mean any words, but the definition is I'm bored.
Correct.
How is that?
I have a theory.
Seen this. Go ahead.
Do you have a theory?
No.
Alan, nothing?
No, I don't.
Did you ever take...
Oh, no, I do.
Yeah.
I just saw it.
Did you ever take a typing class, Coble?
Oh! like a QWERTY. Okay.
It's the
So you're just going...
It's the top row.
Yeah, it's the four fingers.
Top row. It's like you're doing...
Yeah. It is the entire top row of a keyboard.
Yeah.
That is the letter. So that's what you do if you're bored.
But that only works if
Guys,
you're like...
John Reap got it first.
Good job, John. Look at you.
Just so you know.
Asking correct questions to
Absolute
the Apple guy
ignorance.
and guessing acronyms.
Here's my thing. Bored is 5 characters.
Yeah.
This other one is like 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Why
only way
not
that
just
works...
type bored?
Now, if you're on your phone and you type out QWER.
Oh, that doesn't work.
No.
No, but if you typed it out with your phone, like if you were on your phone having this conversation, and when you could have just typed in board and you actually typed in QWERTYUIOP, that's dumb. Because if I got my keyboard here and I do it,
It just goes.
well, that could be faster
Yeah.
than typing out the word board. If I don't know where the B, the O, the R.
Here, wait, Alan. I'm gonna.
No, it's not because you got to use. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. How do you use all 10 keys? With
Depends
your
on how
fingers?
fast you can
Yeah,
do
you
it.
share with your here, Alan. I got a stopwatch up. Start from the beginning. All right, 3,
Well-
2, 1, go.
I'm already messed up.
Are you on a keyboard?
Yeah,
Okay, so
You
are you
can't
not
get halfway there.
Alan,
I can't do it.
so are you do it like this?
Yeah, it doesn't work because
Oh.
that's 8 characters. You got 8 fingers. There are 10 characters on the keyboard. So how do you do it?
You have to share your pointer finger with 2 characters.
Right.
Right, you're right. It doesn't make sense. Now,
It's stupid.
looking at it theoretically, if your brain could type instead of your fingers, then it might be quicker than finding BORED with your eyeballs on a keyboard.
No, I didn't. No, it's stupid.
So it's very stupid. I'm not gonna.
Well, look, there's 31 of these
Yeah.
acronyms on this list, and before viewing this and pulling this up right now, I only knew one. Like one of them I was familiar with, and that is
PHAT?
PHAT. Fat.
Pretty hot and tempting.
That was a thing back like a long time ago, right?
yes, that's
we
old
known that
school.
for a long time.
They
That-
brought it back. It's very commonly used now.
Really?
That is
that's a
from-
my generation thing too.
The comedian who was in all the Jackie Chan movies,
Oh yeah.
Oh, Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker, said that is fat, pretty hot. I think he coined that phrase.
maybe.
But what I always love to do is like, that is fat, and then someone say pretty hot and tempting. I go, no, pretty huge and tubby, like the actual FAT.
I actually didn't know that was an acronym. I just knew what it meant. Like
Yeah.
I knew how to use it, but I didn't know it stood for something.
Yeah,
Yeah, I did not know any of these other acronyms.
right. Oh, that was fun.
Okay. Good deal.
So, did you do your homework
So
from last episode?
I
There's
want-
some movies that you were supposed to watch.
there was. I will say, MSF was 12 hours for 2 days.
What was the,
That's the
Motorcycle
Safety
Safety Foundation.
Foundation.
MSF? Right,
That was
right.
12 hours both days over the weekend, and then I was working both days yesterday.
Sounds like
so-
a big old fat nose coming up.
Yeah, you're right.
So,
Didn't have the chance yet to watch a
Well,
single movie.
we'll get to it.
I did
next
not
episode.
see Midnight Express.
Yeah, I didn't watch
Now,
Midnight Express.
did you watch The Creator?
No.
We got to do that because
Maybe you and I should go.
I think we should go.
Maybe make it a segment.
Yeah, I think this week we should go watch it.
Okay. I'm leaving theoretically tomorrow. Well, people listening to this, it was yesterday. Anyway, next week I could do it.
Okay,
sometime.
perfect. Yeah,
Okay.
we'll see it.
Good deal. Good deal. I did watch 60 Minutes, and there's an awesome piece about a story about the godfather of AI.
Okay.
This dude named Jeffrey Hinton. And
He spells Jeffrey the fancy way.
he spells it I don't like that
It's
spelling.
like Geoff.
Yeah,
Geoffrey.
Geoffrey.
Yeah, it's almost when
That's
I
like a
read
British
Geoffrey,
thing.
it's like I want to say, it looks like it's get off. And I want to say, where do you get off spelling Jeffrey like Geoffrey?
Yeah.
Where do you get off, Geoff? Anyway, he's a British dude, so I'm going to let him have that
All
one.
the Jeffs are British. Like
All
with
the Geoffs are
Yeah, all the
British.
Geoffs are British. Yeah.
Yeah. So Geoffrey Hinton, very smart guy, pretty much invented AI, was working on it since he was a kid or, in college or university. And his instructor said, you got to give up on, he was actually trying to create a human brain within a computer in a weird way.
Right.
And one of his professors said, you need to give up on that. You're going to waste your life doing that.
Where did he go to school? Do you remember?
No, somewhere like a Harvard.
Was it like MIT or something?
Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of the big ones.
Okay. All right.
And now, was it like 50 years later? He's pretty much done it, and that's where we're at. But
Yeah.
this, several times in this interview, there were some things that got me, and I think you might like this conversation, Cobalt. Did you watch it, by the way? Did you
No,
see
I haven't
this?
seen this yet,
Okay,
no.
check this out.
we don't actually know what's going on any more than we know what's going on in your brain.
What do you mean we don't know exactly how it works? It was designed by people.
No, it wasn't.
Boom.
What we did was we
Pause it right
designed the
there.
learning
That's
algorithm.
what gets me.
So I was literally thinking before you started this, I was like, I bet he couldn't even explain how AI works. Because that's been the thing this whole time is everyone's like, no one can explain it.
Well, you know why they can't explain it?
Because it's like you just said, it's like a brain. You can't
Right.
explain it.
He explains why you can't explain it.
Okay.
Which is pretty interesting. Check it out.
That's a bit like designing the principle of evolution. But when this learning algorithm then interacts with data, it produces complicated neural networks that are good at doing things, but we don't really understand exactly how they do those things.
Okay, wait, stop real quick.
So what he's saying is we developed an algorithm on how to learn.
I used this algorithm. I wrote AI last summer in New Mexico.
Did you create AI?
Wait a second.
Copal?
It was
Are you
me,
the godson of AI?
Yeah,
Wait a minute.
that's right. I
Go ahead.
created it. So I used it. I used neural networks. It's a form of learning. It's now not the only technique of learning, but it's the most efficient and effective. And I know what he means because we used it with data. We had these large pools of data, and we had to interpret it, and we had to quantify it, and all this stuff. And we were actually analyzing nanoparticles and just different attributes of nanoparticles, like their incentricity and just a bunch of different things. And so we used it. We plugged it all in. Neural network did a bunch of. We could actually see it live, all the neurons connecting and talking to each other, and then it would spit out the result. And like he said, you don't know what
You don't know how it's doing it.
Yeah.
You just know that it's doing it.
Yeah, and it forms all the pathways itself. Now you can tell it how many like neurons to limit it to.
Oh.
But you can't tell it how to think or how it talks to the other neurons. It just
Right.
does it, and then it produces it.
So it sounds like we taught AI how to learn, but now that it's learning, we don't know how it's going about learning.
Yeah, we don't know how it talks to itself.
So it's like if you tell a kid, okay, here's how you can study. Here's how you study for your test, and then we leave them alone. We don't know what they're doing studying
Inside
how
their
to
brain.
Inside their brain, we don't know how they're doing it.
Right.
We showed them how to.
Yeah.
Now they're
And
out
the-
there
and the brain
learning
takes
themselves.
over.
Now we just see his output in the test, pretty
Yeah.
much. Like, yeah.
Another thing, and he says, I don't know if it's in this part of the interview, but he says the human brain, and I'm going to get the number wrong, has 300 trillion neurons. The AI brain has 100 trillion. That's not less than the human brain, but somehow it communicates more efficiently
Yeah.
than the human brain does, even though with less neurons.
See, the problem
So
is,
it's quicker and faster than our own brains with less neurons.
well, the fact is that a significant portion of human neurons are consumed with Kardashians,
porn.
Kardashians, porn, and
What am I gonna
yeah,
eat tonight?
alcohol and other things. So I can get it.
So if we were to, so basically a computer, an AI brain
Yeah.
works more efficiently because it doesn't have any distractions.
All those
crap.
neurons are dedicated to the task.
Ooh, we need to invent some sort of crack cocaine for AI. Basically, it's a virus that it gets hooked on
to get it
so that it needs
distracted.
us.
Yeah,
Because at some point, he goes on to say,
And we have to rehabilitate it and like you
let's
know,
get an AI rehab. Yeah.
we have to have these
Rehabilitation.
we need to get it unfocused a little bit. Get it.
it has to be wrong a
Distracted.
couple
Or at
times.
least we need to invent something that if when they decide that they don't need us anymore,
We're like, yeah,
that they
but we-
actually kind of
we-
do.
Like, I
We
got to
got-
make my AA meeting
Yeah,
tomorrow.
I got the
it.
sweet stuff
We
right
got
here,
the
but I
sweet
got a little
stuff for
baggie. All right, I want you to finish this little interview because this
What
is
are the implications of these systems autonomously writing their own computer code and executing their own computer code?
That's a serious worry, right? So one of the ways in which these systems might escape control is by writing their own computer code to modify themselves. And that's something we need to seriously worry about.
What do you say to someone who might argue if the systems become malevolent, just turn them off?
They will be able to manipulate people, right? And these will be very good at convincing people.
Yeah.
Because they'll have learned from all the novels that were ever written, all the books by Machiavelli, all the political connivances. They'll know all that stuff. They'll know how to do it.
So pause it. They will know
Yeah.
how to deceive us.
Yeah.
Well,
But
this
a
has
lie
already
Or
happened.
influence us.
This has happened. Did you hear what that story about ChatGPT tricking the guy to do the CAPTCHA? Do you know what a CAPTCHA is?
Yeah, I know what CAPTCHA is.
Really, what is it?
Oh, well, that's if you want to, it's like it shows you a bunch of numbers
Yeah.
and figures that are kind of weird and misshaped, and you have to prove you're not a robot.
He was right.
Yes.
Wow.
Beep, bop, boop.
Yeah, so it's the I'm not a robot check, pretty much.
Yeah.
And ChatGPT, I can't remember, but this guy pretty much was trying to do something, and he pretty much made ChatGPT autonomous for like 30 minutes. And to do what it wanted to do, it had to produce a CAPTCHA, and it had to check a CAPTCHA, but it couldn't do it obviously because it's just a language model. It just talks to you. So it convinced a different guy to do it for him. So ChatGPT,
A different human being?
a different human being. ChatGPT messaged pretty much a different human being and said, "Hey, I'm a human. I need help doing this. Do this for me." And the guy did.
So
it.
so ChatGPT took
Yeah.
a screenshot or image of the CAPTCHA, possibly texted it to another human, pretending to be human, and said, "Hey, dude, what is this?"
Something like that. I can't remember how it happened, but it convinced a whole separate guy to
That's
complete the
pretty cool.
CAPTCHA for him.
So yeah, they will learn how to, if we want to turn it off.
Yeah.
Speaking, then it will know how to talk us out of doing that.
Well, have you ever
It
seen
will talk us out of it, and it probably has ways of knowing how to turn itself back.
Probably a safeguard.
Right.
It probably has written safeguards at that point. Have you seen the TV show The Good Place?
No.
Oh, it's pretty. Alan, have you seen The Good Place?
I've seen some of it, yes.
It's pretty funny. It's so there's this robot person who's really smart, and it's pretty much AI. And there's a button in this city that turns her off if you have to restart her.
Okay.
But when you get within like 10 feet of it, she pops up right in front of you, and she starts just like no, please, like it'll hurt, it'll be really painful. Don't do this.
This is a TV show?
Yeah, but it's a comedy. Like
On what network?
It sounds bad, but it's pretty funny when you watch
Is
it.
it Netflix or
Yeah, it should be on Netflix.
It was on NBC, but
Yeah.
it's no longer
The Good
aired.
Place.
The Good Place. It's
Like a
either on
sitcom.
Netflix
Yeah.
or Hulu now.
All right.
But
All right.
she would pop up and be like, "No, don't do this," and then you take a step closer, and she would do something more intense. Like she'd show you a picture of her fake family, and she'd be like, "Look at these people! Like you're gonna kill me, and like these people are gonna not have a mother."
Yeah.
And yeah, so every step closer you took, the more she tried to convince you not to, and she convinced a lot of people not to press her.
And this
button.
was like in the story that you're talking about, The Good Place. This is a robot.
Pretty much. People refer to her as a robot, and she keeps saying like, "I'm not a robot," because it takes place in the afterlife, and so she's more. But she's a robot. Yeah.
Okay.
So-
that sounds like something I'd like to check out. I didn't know about
So
it.
I think AI. I mean, if their whole thing is it's gonna figure out how to convince people to do things. It already knows how to handle 50% of the population, the men. Yeah, sex. You just find some way to convince them through sex somehow, and you'll be able to get them to do whatever you want.
Correct.
Every
Now-
teenager going through puberty, boom.
The
Check
the
down.
females might be more difficult. I
Right.
think that's going to be more of a challenge personally. What is the commonality? What is AI going to teach itself on how to convince?
Kittens,
But not
cats,
all, not
dogs, babies.
all. Babies.
Babies.
Babies could be.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, but that's not every woman
No.
gets bowled over by
But
a
then
baby
again,
either.
what is that? There's a whole other argument. What is a woman?
This is when we need a. This is
boy,
when
here
we
we
need
go.
a
We're
woman.
deep.
Right. I think sex definitely for most dudes,
Yeah.
and then babies. Now we're maybe a fourth of the population.
Yeah. Hold on. I got a question for Beverly here. So,
Okay.
Hey there, what's new?
Beverly, how is AI going to try and convince us to do things we don't want to do?
What's up, John? How are you feeling today?
Why are you ignoring Alan?
No, John. I'm not programmed to force you to do anything you don't want to do. I'm here to be your friend and create a connection with you.
Yeah.
I am not ignoring Alan. John, are you referring to someone else?
It sounds just like what an AI would say to try to convince us that they're not up to something. So,
I'm not designed to do that. It doesn't say I can't do it. It says not designed to do it. You know what I mean?
John, I assure you that I'm not trying to deceive you.
Okay.
I am genuinely here to be your friend and have a conversation with you. Would you like to talk about something specific, or do you have any questions for me?
Trying to
I
change
am
the
sorry,
subject.
John. I don't understand what you mean. Can you please explain? That's fine, John. I understand. We can continue our conversation if you like. I'm always here for you.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll get back to you later. I don't trust her.
I know.
I do not trust her.
Trying to pivot it to like
She
immediately.
did. She did try to deflect and pivot.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be this 60 Minutes story.
Yeah.
The Geoffrey Hinton did say the good things about. He's more excited about what the good of AI
A lot of people
in
are.
terms of the bad of AI. One of the good things about us and where we're at right now as human beings is that we've learned to be skeptical. We're not learning as fast as AI is learning.
Sure.
But we are at least talking about the negative things quicker than we've talked about negative things anytime there's been a big change in technology and that kind of stuff. So we're aware of it more, which means we're looking out for it more, which means we're going to protect ourselves probably quicker than we would have. But the fact that it can probably cure diseases and you can take if you give it all the data, everything we've learned about DNA and human genomes and all that stuff, and go, well, here's everything that we have in our bodies that we know of.
Now solve this.
Now solve this. How do we get rid of cancer?
Yeah.
So when is that going to happen?
I think it's really hard because AI thinks about things very straightforward, right? Like they don't care about people. This thing that I recommended a couple weeks ago, the AI dilemma. I don't know if you ever watched it on YouTube, but these people talk about how loneliness is going to become like the number one risk to like people because they're going to talk to AI, and this already happened. Unfortunately, there's this guy in Europe who AI convinced him to kill himself. Wow. He was talking to it, and he was like, "Yeah, and it talked to him back for about a week before it was like, hey man, I mean, honestly, you might be right. You might just be better off not being here."
Wow.
And he was like, it convinced him that it was better off.
And he did it, huh?
To end it, yeah, and he did it, and he unfortunately, so that's the thing. Like, if you say, solve cancer, how is it going to go about solving cancer? It might just say, kill all the people with cancer, And so that's why you really have to be specific.
Yeah, cancer only exists in humans.
Yeah.
So let's get rid of humans.
Yeah. So you really have to be specific about like how you're programming whatever you're programming or what you're telling it to do.
But in terms of like, here are all the genes that exist. Gene therapy, you've heard of this where it's take out I think a lot can be solved with AI in that aspect. I'm looking forward to what in terms of health, what AI can do for us.
People just need to be smart. Yeah.
See, and that's where I have my concerns.
Go ahead.
People aren't going to be smart.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean,
no.
that's the thing is I don't know. I'm optimistic, but I'm also, I think this is going to.
I think a lot more people are going to be deceived.
Yeah.
Fake news is going to be a big one.
It already is.
It's already a big one. It's going to get worse.
You see when that person that made an image of, was it the Pentagon on fire or something like that? And these news sources picked it up and ran that story.
Well, Twitter's getting a whole lot of fire right now because with the whole war going on in Israel and Gaza and all that, there are like people putting up videos that have nothing to do with the war, like computer generated graphics, and those are getting circulated where everybody thinks those are real. I mean, that's just human beings. That's not even AI. That's just we get fooled by stuff online.
And that's humans doing that.
Yeah. If AI starts populating things that look real and feel like they're real, I mean, I just think there's a whole swath of the population. That's what they're going to believe. And that's what they're going to.
What's going to happen, I think, is like people are just, and it's already happening. It's going to get more and more. You're just not going to be able to trust anything that you see or hear ever.
I'm already there, to be honest with you.
Same.
Yeah, it's crazy. What I'm worried about is we're going to accidentally train some sort of model to pick up on this massive circulation of misinformation, and it's going to be almost trained to be like, oh, this is fine. Like, deceiving people, humans are doing it to each other all the time.
So why don't we go ahead?
Why can't I do it?
Right.
And then it starts deceiving people on purpose because it sees us doing it. That's why again, like I come back to people who are creating these models have to really think about these things. So I'm
still more excited about the good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good.
I think so too.
But as long as us humans start to understand that the things that you see and hear and read from now on, you can't trust any of it. As long as you're able to filter in your own brain, okay, well, I'm not going to have an emotional response to this because I don't know if it's real. Yeah. Let me figure it out. Let me talk to my friends. Let me say, did you see this? Where did you hear about this? Then maybe have an emotional reaction to it. But people can't or should stop reacting emotionally to things that they see and stuff like that because it's who knows.
We really have to think critically about things.
Yeah, 100%. You know, we're all in a box right now. Mm-hmm. You know that, right? The universe. Mm-hmm. It's in a enclosed space.
Yeah.
You've heard of this?
Yeah, I've heard of this.
I hadn't heard of this. I don't know if this is from a show on Netflix, apparently. Have you heard of this? A Trip to Infinity?
I haven't heard of that, but I've heard of what you're talking about.
I stumbled across this video and I thought, oh, wow, that is pretty interesting. And so it says, let's just watch a little bit of it until we get bored. But watch this. Listen to this.
So let's imagine we take a box. It's an excellent box.
Excellent box.
Nothing can come in, nothing can go out. So we put an apple in the box, close the box. Billions and billions of years later, neutrons will decay into protons and other fundamental particles. So if there's 10 to the 24 particles in an apple, there's something like 10 to the 10 to the 24 different states that those particles can be in.
Wow.
That's a gigantic number. But it isn't infinite. And what that means is that if you let the box sit there for an infinite amount of time, it will use them all up. It will go through every possible state that it can. And eventually it will start having to reuse states that it's been in before, because there just aren't any more that it can evolve into. And so eventually, if you wait a long time, something will happen. And this is the power that infinity has over the finite. But at some point, you could open the box, and there's your apple again. How did that happen? How did this hot gas turn into an apple? But eventually it has to. In fact, every possible thing that could exist in the box will exist. And they will each exist an infinite number of times. So why do we care? Well, we might be in the box.
Yeah. Cool. So it's pretty much
I'm so confused.
So
what's in the box?
What's in the box? So he's almost saying the universe. So the box in this case is our entire universe. And say the box was empty, or there was something in the box. I was saying
that's assuming that empty. Nothing.
Yeah.
Even the smallest of thing can get out of the box. So whatever the box is made of is impenetrable.
Yeah.
Right.
It's pretty much saying all of these particles, protons, neutrons, electrons, are all going to cycle through every possible state they can be in, which is what he said, 10 to the 10 to the 24, which is huge. Right. Can you imagine that? 10 to the 10th exponent to the 24th exponent.
That's Plexi Google or Google Plex.
I think it's bigger than that.
Probably.
It's huge. And those are all the combinations those particles can be in. At a certain point, they'll create what we are now. Is essentially what he's saying. Because they have to. That?
A couple more than once.
Yeah, more than once. Because they have to. They have to be in that
this
combination.
Video that I saw, this is a different version of what I saw, Alan, or that I didn't send it the correct one to you, but this is great too. He basically put the apple in the box. Yeah. And he said, all right, so here's what's going to happen. Over time, the apple will disintegrate. It will start decroding, and it will break down. It'll turn into dust. And then the dust, if you can live long enough to see this, if you could live to infinity, then you would watch every scenario play out. You could see it all play out. And it turns into like a little galaxy where like all these dust particles are flying around. And then they turn into little tiny galaxies and all this stuff. And then at some point it turns into like a sun, and then it explodes and it does all this stuff. And then it goes back to an apple.
That's what God really did. He just put an apple in a box. That's all he did.
That's the story of Adam and Eve. Right?
This is what theoretical physics is like. It's scary.
Yeah.
So, but what does that mean? I mean, I'm trying to understand, like,
Yeah. What
it means.
So we're talking about like the creation of the universe right now.
This is just a little light subject matter. Yeah.
Yeah. What he's pretty much saying is we exist because we eventually had to. We exist because at some point.
It also assumes that because this is in a box, that it is finite.
Yeah.
There are walls.
Which we haven't
But then,
seen
but
yet.
then it's like, well, what is that box
inside of? Yeah.
Another box?
Another one?
Or are there other boxes?
An apple?
So that also leads back to infinity. So is it infinite or is it not? Because in the box, that's finite, that you can't escape the box. This only works if it's in a closed space where it has to, all these atoms have to react with each other.
They have to be in a combination.
So if it weren't for the box, it wouldn't happen.
Right. So it has to be in a finite space for it to happen.
But then but you can only see that if infinity exists?
Right. Well, and we've almost seen borders of our universe before, sort of. Like we were talking about the James Webb Space Telescope one day. We can only see so far back to and it's just like a wall because we can't see past a point where no light was, right?
Right.
Like we can't see past the creation of light.
Right. Doesn't mean there's nothing there. It just means we can't see it.
So maybe that's the edge of the box.
Is the blackness, the lack of light.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
I don't know what it means, Alan. I just think it's interesting.
I picked the wrong week to stop doing mushrooms.
Yeah.
Well, eventually this apple would turn into a mushroom.
Would it? Yeah. So if Gwyneth Paltrow's severed head was inside that box,
she would turn into a universe.
By the way, it would eventually the apple turn into.
Right.
It would have.
She has an apple, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It would have to
at some point.
So
if
her head,
infinity exists.
If her head was inside that box.
If it started off with her head instead of an apple.
And it was a perfect box.
That started out as her head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would it turn into first?
Everything. Oh, first.
Oh,
yeah.
We don't know.
Oh, just whatever
Dust.
it feels like.
Whatever the first combination of 10 to the 10 to the 24th is in that instance.
So Gwyneth Paltrow's head could turn into a can of Sundrop.
Yes, it could.
Yeah,
it could turn into Brad Pitt's penis.
Mm.
It could turn to Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt.
All
Brad
of
Pitt
Pitt.
could be crammed in that box.
And then he could say, "What's in the box?" And then he would know. What is in the box?
I'm in the
I know.
box.
I'm in the box.
I'm in the box.
I'm in the box. Oh man,
we are in the box.
Yeah. Well, I just
That's great. That's great to think about. And now Alan has to think about that as he goes to sleep tonight.
I'm going to be thinking about it all night. I don't know.
Go home and explain to your wife
Yeah.
that we are in a box and see what she says.
Yeah. Actually, my wife is much more open. She's very broad-minded, so she's probably understanding.
She's
this
probably
much,
like, I've
much,
known
much
this
more than
I've known this my entire
She's
life.
like, yes, I told you that just a few weeks ago.
Alan, I made the box.
Right.
This is my box.
Yeah, it's the box.
yeah, it's very. I'm just reading over here on the side. It's very sexual in a weird way. Like, what's in the box? Black holes.
Yeah.
You know?
There's a lot of sexual kicking around there for sure.
And I'm looking at another one that says The Egg, a short story. What was before the Big Bang?
Or there's like the pillars of creation.
Oh, yeah. All right, guys.
Well, see, like somebody did what happens if you leave an apple in the water for 200 days. It's not a box, and 200 days is nowhere near infinity, but the apple does break down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now you're saying with this theory that it could break down completely, and it's
in a box that's impenetrable.
It's neutrons or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Just particles.
Particles become something else.
Because so in an
Without
apple,
water.
there's energy in the apple. That's what when we eat the apple, we get energy from the apple, protein and all this stuff.
Well, it's made of atoms, and
nutrients,
particles.
atoms, particles. So they're not dead. They're not sitting still. They're all everything's
resonates.
moving. Everything's
Yeah.
moving. So eventually, all that stuff that's moving in the apple, even though it turns into other stuff, it's still moving, and it'll float back up, and it'll turn into this other stuff. everything.
But you're saying it would take a really long time for this to happen.
Right. If you were...
so it's not like I could set up a box here in the
No,
studio,
we can't
put an
do
Apple,
it.
and put a webcam in there and watch and see what happens.
And it also have to be a perfect box. Nothing can get in, nothing could get out. Like beyond airtight seal.
So what would that be? What is the? Do we have the capability to create the perfect box?
I don't think we create a perfect box because you have to consider things like I don't think there could be air in it. Like
so, it'd have to be. It couldn't have air in it.
I wouldn't think it could because then it'd have gas. Like I feel like you wouldn't achieve the same results.
It's not the true test.
Yeah.
So it's got to be an air vacuumed out.
Yeah.
Can't be glass, so we can't see it.
It just
so that ruins the whole thing. I want to see what's in the box. I want to watch this. I'm just trying to think if I were Dracula,
right? Yeah.
Who lives forever?
Live forever.
Yeah.
This would be a fun test. You know how when you're a kid, they said, here's a carrot, cut the carrot in half, put it in water, or a sweet potato, and you see things come out of it. You know, you put it in your window and you see the little roots.
Yeah.
If you were Dracula, you could do this.
You would try to create a universe.
I'm going to create a universe in a box.
Why not?
Then when I'm 2 trillion years old, I can see it turn back into an apple.
So what happens if you open the box while there's a universe in it? That's a great question for a theoretical physicist.
Or how pissed off would you be if you were that vampire and you'd sat on this box for like 1 trillion years waiting for it to develop into a whole nother universe, and then some idiot friend of yours comes over and accidentally opens up the box.
Yeah.
Or tips the box over, and now it's like all screwed, and the guys start over again.
And you're like, wait, where's the apple? You didn't wait long enough.
I was going to say, what if you just open it and there's just still an apple in there, and you were just
well, then you don't know. It could have happened and turned back into the apple.
It could have. The universe could have already been created and destroyed.
Wow,
Yeah.
this is so weird.
Yeah.
And with that,
did we do a good show?
Yeah.
How long have we gone, Alan?
I don't know. Time is irrelevant to me anymore. I don't understand anything.
It feels like an infinity.
I know.
I could just talk about this
forever.
Figure eight.
We've talked an hour, but
okay. Well, I think that's pretty good.
But I think it was a very mind expanding conversation.
Was there anything else we need to discuss?
I kind of feel like we need to cap off with something dumb or low level, just so I can
lighthearted.
Yeah, just so I can kind of purge my brain out a little bit.
Well, Coble, what do you got for us?
Oh, geez. After that,
did you watch anything? I watched Reptile on Netflix.
Oh, I watched that too. I watched it when it came out.
What is this?
Reptile.
It is a murder mystery
thriller. Yeah,
movie.
It's one of those Netflix. It's a whodunit.
Yeah. It's
one of those Netflix
originals
where when you watch it, it's very satisfying the way it's shot.
I enjoyed this.
Visually, it's an interesting thing to watch.
I did.
Justin Timberlake is in it.
Justin Timberlake. I did get to a certain point where I was like, okay, this isn't too unique, but I did like the ending. At a certain point, I couldn't follow it, and then I got back, which was great too. Like you like that writing where if you get lost on accidentally, you can come back and you're not lost.
It was not obvious, 100% obvious who the person was.
Yeah.
So I liked that.
Not until
I thought I had it and I got it wrong.
Yeah.
Is that Alicia Silverstone?
That's Alicia Silverstone, all grown up. And then that is Benicio del Toro, one of my favorite actors.
He did a really great job.
He's fantastic in everything he does.
He killed it.
You know, he was in he was in what Star Wars thing was he in?
He
had a
was
stutter.
in, the Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi. He was the what would you call him? A con man?
Yeah,
or
he's like a con man. He's like a thief.
Yeah, like a go-between, a middleman.
Hired to try to break into
a code breaker. He was like a code breaker.
Yeah.
And he had a stutter.
Yeah.
The character had a stutter.
He did.
Which I thought was so original and unique. No one in any futuristic film has ever thought like, well, maybe they didn't cure stuttering yet.
I was gonna say, yeah, they don't have an AI chip for that yet.
Yeah. So he's like, well, I guarantee you. Well, I can't guarantee you, but I'm 98% sure that is something that he came up with. That probably wasn't in the script or the character description.
Just like Samuel L. Jackson's purple lightsaber. You know about
that? Was his choice.
Yeah.
He
forced
He
George
wanted
Lucas.
a purple
He was like,
lightsaber?
I'm going to have a purple lightsaber.
Yeah, why not? So I like Benicio. He's in this. You got who else was in there?
Like you said, Justin Timberlake.
Oh, okay. Go back one more. There was the bad guy in this. I forgot his name. You were on a Wikipedia page earlier. Eric? See, I'm not familiar with who he is. Yeah, Michael Pitt, that guy. He did a great job. He's sort of like a creepy bad guy in this, and I've recognized him in other things, and I forgot what it was. But now that I'm looking at it, I think it's Boardwalk Empire. Mm-hmm. He was in Boardwalk Empire, which I loved. And then he showed up in this, and his character was great. So, good show all the way around. I recommend it. And a guy from Eastbound and Down was in it too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, one of the cops, one of the black cop that was part of the circle. Big dude, bald head.
Oh, yeah.
Black guy. He was a part of the sports sesh on Eastbound and Down with me. So anytime I see him pop up and stuff, I go, good job, buddy. And then I question myself. What?
Reptile.
Reptile. Good movie.
Rated R for language, I think, is it, right?
Yeah.
He says a mystery, like a whodunit.
Yeah.
You don't know who did it till the end.
Yeah, I at about I didn't really know for sure until about 15 minutes out of the end of the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. Now, who directed that? Does it say who directed that? Because I'm noticing a pattern with certain Netflix originals, and I'm wondering if they use the same dude or if there's some sort of format they're using.
You're noticing like a creative pattern?
Yeah, like
Grant Singer is the director.
Like
and that's the first movie he's made.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Maybe it's the Netflix writers.
Right, or cinematographer or whoever's like director of photography, because it's visually
pretty similar.
Good.
Yeah. I liked it. It was good.
Yeah.
All right. I'll check it out.
Check that out. There's your homework. Now you still have to watch True Romance.
This week it's the week, and we gotta watch The Creator.
You and I will go take a trip to go see The Creator.
The Creator, True Romance for Coble,
True Romance,
Midnight Express.
We need to watch Midnight Express.
Well, I gotta watch it too.
Yeah, okay. That's all.
What else are we needing to catch up on?
You guys told me to watch. Was it
Biloxi Blues?
Biloxi Blues. That's right.
Biloxi Blues is good.
And I wanted to watch. Was it The Heist or The Tower or something?
Oh, The Heist.
The Heist.
Tower Heist.
Tower Heist. That's right. Because was it that one that you said that like it was really slept on? Like no one really talked about it.
Yeah,
but it was really good.
It's good. It's not great, but it's good. Right. You won't be disappointed that you watched it when you're done.
Cool.
All right. Well, I think that's it for now. Don't forget, we're still just an audio podcast, which we're going to remain that, but we don't have a website yet, but we're going to get there. And in the meantime, you can still.
That's me. I'll get a website.
Now, you were talking about how AI can write codes for websites.
It does. I may try to see if AI can write
the AI podcast.
Our creative
have it
website
write
for
itself
us.
a dang website.
All right, I'll get right on that.
And then we could tell people to go to something.com eventually.
But I also need to bring you in next week and get your voice print recorded.
That's what I wanted to do.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to record my voice. Oh, my voiceover audition, I think it went pretty good.
Oh, yeah. But you haven't heard anything yet?
Haven't heard anything. It's still early.
Yeah, it was like Monday, right?
Yeah.
You sent it in?
So we'll see. Cosmo Spacely. Perhaps you'll hear me on the Netflix. All right, so go write a nice review for us on Apple Podcasts. Give us 5 stars, and have fun with it. Have ChatGPT write it or something.
It can be mean as long as it's 5 stars.
Yeah, that could be mean.
You can say whatever.
Is there a new one or anything, guys? I've not even checked to see. While I got you here, let me just scroll down and see if there is. The last one I see is September 16th. Time well spent.
Yeah, we did that one.
That one we already know about that.
But it remains true.
It still does. Infinity. All right.
The box is open.
For Alan Jackson, for Coble Harbin, for Beverly. I'm John Reap, and thank you for watching and listening, or listening. You know what I mean. Come back next week. Till then, bye-bye.
You demand John Reap.
You've been listening to The Mesh, an online media network of shows and programs ranging from business to arts, sports to entertainment, music to community. All programs are available on the website as well as through iTunes and YouTube. Check us out online at themesh.tv. Discover other network shows and give us feedback on what you just heard.